welcome to the Abhijit Talk Show. We are here again with our friend Amit Kadam, who's going to talk about the various aquariums and the fish that we are going to talk. So, in the first episode, we have seen Amit has given us an insight on the different shapes and sizes of the aquariums or so-called fish tank, and along with the the volume of the fish tank. So today we are going to talk to him, and he's going to give us some more descriptions and insights about how to buy an aquarium. When you understanding the aquarium in terms of the shapes and sizes is fine. I mean, you've got a circular aquarium to a rectangular to a square to a hexagonal kind of aquariums, but it is also important for us to know how to buy an aquarium. So today we are going to talk to him about the process or how to buy an aquarium. So Amit,
I am.
so good that you're again here on my channel on the Abhijit Talk Show, and there have been a lot of questions people have been asking on the various aquariums that we have seen. There was one question that cropped up in one of the while talking to one of the audience, and he was asking that I have a hobby of the aquarium. So he has about one circular and one rectangular. So he has got two. One is smaller in size, one is slightly bigger in size. But he is not able to figure out when he went to buy an aquarium. How to buy? How do I look at the cost of that aquarium? So if you could throw some light on it, it would be good.
Sure. So, need to understand one thing. Before buying an aquarium, need to consider certain points as your planning points before you actually buy an aquarium. Right? So, there are certain points which I'd like to throw light on. Okay. So, starting with the first thing, as you said, the cost. The cost, as it may seem, that you go to a shop and he will tell you that an set, entire aquarium set with the the glass aquarium, the hood, then the gravel and the fish and all the accessories. It might be quoted to you that you might get a 18-inch aquarium, that's a 1.5 feet aquarium, in approximately 2,000 to 2,500 rupees as a package. It seems very nominal, and while that's actually not the fact. That is your initial investment.
Oh, okay.
So you need to understand one thing, that once you buy an aquarium, the cost doesn't end there. It
Okay.
just starts there.
Oh,
Okay. At the same time, you need to consider what you want to buy for your aquarium. So what kind of equipment? Right? You need to consider all these things. You need to make a checklist of what you want. Like for example, you need to buy a glass aquarium, then you need to buy gravel down. So you want to go for the chip gravel, you want to go for white sand, you want to go for golden sand. There are multiple options.
so these are all what is kept inside the aquarium for the
Yes.
fish, creating an environment with the
Yes.
fish.
So
Okay,
to
all right.
create the natural environment as close to nature as possible, we spoke about in
Right.
the earlier
Perfect.
episode,
Yes.
right? So I would say don't go for anything artificial. That is my advice. But if you don't have an option, then it's okay. There's no such hard and fast rule, because plastic will attract a lot of dirt.
Right.
It accumulates dirt
Yes.
in its spaces, and it's difficult to clean it. Need to regularly maintain it. But at the same time, if you have natural stuff, the algae would be cleaned by the fish themselves.
Oh,
So if you have a rock, the algae which forms on the rock, the fish will chew it off.
okay.
Okay, there are fish which can clean those rocks. Okay, like for example, you have these algae-eating fish.
Okay.
Okay, so those are basically vegetarian fish,
Yes.
which only eat algae and vegetarian food. So they keep cleaning up your rocks and stuff. So there are many things. At the same time, you need to consider the equipment quality also. Equipment is available right from a very nominal price up to it's like buying a Maruti and a Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
There is a big
Oh.
difference.
Okay.
So you get cheap quality aquarium equipment. At the same time, you get very good quality aquarium equipment, which are made by renowned brands. They come with warranty,
Right.
and they go on and on and on for years together. Okay, if they get spoiled, spares are available. Those spares can be replaced, and the equipment can go on and on.
Right.
So you don't have to buy new equipment every time. But if you buy something that is use and throw, you might get it at a nominal price, but then every time you have to throw away the entire equipment, even if one thing is not functioning.
Not functional.
For example, filters,
Okay.
lights.
Right.
Okay, so you get various brands, various varieties. Okay, so depends on what kind of aquarium you want to make. Okay, so first thing, consider cost of the equipment. Then you make a checklist, what all you need to buy.
Right.
Gather prices from various sources. You may go online. You may go to your local stores. You may look at e-commerce websites. Okay, then you need to consider the size of the aquarium. So
Right.
what kind of an aquarium, what size of an aquarium you can that fits your pocket as well as the space that is available.
Right. So you have to consider the room where the aquarium is to be kept.
Yes.
So basis that you will have to identify the size and the volume of the aquarium. Okay.
At times, what happens is people have already planned that we have a certain space and we are going to fit an aquarium in this.
Right.
Okay, so then you consider that size and go for the aquarium. At the same time, some people have an open area where they can make any size of aquarium. So then it depends on what size they can invest in, what equipment they can invest in, okay, how much maintenance they can do.
Right.
So the smaller the aquarium, the more the maintenance. The larger the aquarium, the lower the maintenance. At the same time, you need to consider the kind of weight that aquarium is going to put on your space. Okay, so you can't just keep an aquarium on any table because aquarium which is about 50 to 60 gallons might weigh anything up to 100 kgs.
Right.
So you need to consider the stand on which you're going to keep it. Okay, if you already have a table, whether the table is going to be able to take the weight of that aquarium, okay, whether it will sustain that in the long run, because the table may crack, the table might
Okay.
give way,
Yeah.
and even if it becomes a slightly bent, then it might put pressure on one side of the glass of the aquarium, and it might cause the aquarium to leak. It might cause the glass to crack. There are many
Okay.
things,
You
hazardous.
have to look at all the
Yes.
options available in the house as well as.
Yes.
Now,
And
there
this-
was one question that came up. Is there a specific location for the fish tank that you can keep? For example, I don't have space in the hall, right? I don't have space in my bedroom, but I have a lot of space in my kitchen. Now, can we keep a fish tank in the kitchen? Would that actually benefit?
There is no benefit as such, but then it is your comfort level.
Okay.
First thing, you have space in your kitchen, you can keep it, but it should not be a place wherein it's next to your stove or oven, because that causes a lot of heat.
Right.
So any extreme condition will not be good for your fish. If you keep it next to the oven or your gas stove, it might cause the aquarium to heat. The glass will keep getting heated repeatedly.
Right.
Okay, the water keeps evaporating repeatedly. Okay, so there are a lot of pros and cons, but if there is a lot of ventilation in your kitchen and you have a large kitchen, okay, then you can
Probably.
keep it on a platform, a kitchen
So there's
platform.
nothing like an ideal location for a fish tank in the house. There's nothing like this.
See,
Right?
people who believe in Vastu can go by the Vastu advice. Okay, otherwise there is no
No ideal.
specific ideal location. It's all based on your liking. I like to have an aquarium in front of my eyes when I go to sleep.
Wow.
I like to have an aquarium in front of my eyes when I wake up.
Okay.
Okay, but unfortunately I don't have space in my bedroom.
Okay.
So that's the reason I have put my aquarium in the hall.
Okay.
In the living room. So that's how it is. So, and I have a small aquarium in my washroom.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So
you kept
on-
it in the washroom also.
Yes,
Wow.
I have a small aquarium in my washroom on the platform.
Okay.
With just 2 fish. So I found some space there, and I thought, it's some place where we spend quite a reasonable time
Yes, yes.
in the reporting
Thinking.
time.
Yeah.
So I have a small aquarium in my washroom
Wow.
wherein I have 2 goldfish in them.
I hope the fishes are comfortable watching.
Yes, they are. Because the washroom is well ventilated
Okay.
and there's quite a good amount of air circulation.
Okay.
So it's left up to you. As long as the place can be kept cool and comfortable, you can have an aquarium anywhere.
All right.
Right?
Great. I mean,
So-
I think that's quite an insight. I mean, it's pretty surprising that you can keep the aquariums in different places in the house, and washroom could be one.
Yes.
This is something very interesting.
Yes,
And,
yes. And one more thing, Vijay.
yeah.
I just want to tell this thing. This is a very important point. Don't keep your aquarium wherein there is direct sunlight or wherein there is direct heat coming. Because what happens is there will be an outburst of algae and you will get tired easily.
Okay.
Because direct sunlight attracts a lot of algae. It will make the entire aquarium green within 3 or 4 days. Okay, and this algae is very stubborn. Even after cleaning, you cannot clean the entire aquarium. It will stay on the edges and it will start growing back in 2 days.
All right, great. I mean, I think that was a very important aspect that you explained just now, that it should not be exposed to the sun rays. Yeah. So with that, we'll take a break and we'll continue in the second phase. Keep watching the Abhijit Talk Show with Amit Kalam. Thank you.
This is an awesome attempt to create an artificial waterfall inside an aquarium. Looks beautiful. A classic example of a miniature goldfish tank with small little goldfish playing around. Another one of my beautiful creations, a cichlid tank with frontosas, green terrors, some clown loads, some lima catfish, a lot of hiding spaces again for the cichlids to hide as they grow territorial when they grow big. A classic example of a large tank. This tank is 6 feet by 2 feet. A low-tech planted aquarium with some beautiful marble angels, a blue angel, a central bogwood for the decoration, some clown loaches playing around, an attempt to create a natural environment for the fish with some giant Venezuela grass, some mint plants, and some other green plants there. We can see some corridoras, and there's a surfy tetra in there. Awesome angels, huge in size, beautiful tank overall. This is a special tank with an extra height for the angels.
Welcome back on this episode after a short break. So Amit, we were talking with Amit on how to buy an aquarium. So Amit has given us an insight about cost, about making a checklist, what you want exactly in the aquarium. He's spoken about different sizes. He has spoken about considering the weight of the aquarium. Now these are some of the important aspects that we need to consider. Let's talk to him further as to what are the other things that we need to consider while buying an aquarium. So Amit, coming back to you, could you throw some light on in the aquarium? You've spoken about the size. The size we've spoken about. Now we need to stock the aquarium. So when we need to stock, we need to, as you were mentioning, some pebbles and some rocks and some wood. And you spoke about the root wood in the last episode. So you need to stock all that. Of course, we can't forget the fish. Without the fish, you can't have the aquarium. So could you just give us some more details about this?
Sure. So the basic guideline of stocking an aquarium. Basically, stocking means with livestock.
Yes.
Okay, not the decorations. So decorations you can put as many as you want. You can put whatever you like, provided the fish have enough space to swim. So don't put so much of decoration that the fish don't get to swim. Okay, at the same time, ensure that you don't have any decoration with sharp edges or pointed edges, which if the fish gets scared and try to run through the aquarium or dart through the aquarium, they might get hurt.
Okay.
So try and keep sharp things away from the adding to the decorum of the aquarium and stuff like that. Okay, so basically, when you're stocking an aquarium, there's a thumb rule that you need to consider keeping 1 inch of fish per gallon. That's a thumb rule, alright? And then you need to consider the kind of fish that you want to keep. Okay, there are various types of fish, okay, which are compatible, not compatible, which are territorial, which are what do you call, which don't get along with each other. Then there are community fish, community fish tanks, wherein you can keep various varieties of fish together. They will stay together.
Okay.
Okay, they don't chase each other or they don't bite off each other's fins. Okay, but there are fish which are aggressive, which if not fed well or if not given enough space, okay, they get aggressive, and they in turn they can harass their
I can
time
kill the fishes
Yes,
inside
they
also.
can harass them to such an extent that they can kill them.
Let's take an example of this fish tank that you have. It's a wonderful fish tank with a lot of fish, and you mentioned some kissing Gorema fish.
Goramis.
Goramis, okay. So I didn't know that the fish also has a name which is a kissing name. So that's really nice to have this kind of fish. So what are the different fish that you have? So one is a kissing Gorami.
That's a kissing gourami there.
Gorami, okay, alright.
This is an angel fish.
That's a range with the black one. Is the
Yeah,
wow.
black striped one, silver fish is
Okay.
the angel one.
And
This is a tin foil barb with silver body.
Barb, okay.
Okay, this is a barb variety fish,
Okay.
and this is a koi.
The red one in here, that's a
Orange
koi.
one, that's called a fantail koi. It's
Fancy
got
koi.
a huge tail.
Yes.
Then you can see there's a silver dollar there.
Oh, that's the dollar behind.
Yeah.
Yesterday was spoke
It's
about
a-
the last episode.
It's a shy fish actually. Doesn't want to come in front.
Yeah, as
It's
it is,
fine.
dollars are shy. They don't come out easily.
So I have a couple of silver dollars there.
Okay.
So these fish are getting along with each other, but the dollars are a little aggressive. So
Okay.
you can see the tail of the koi.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Yes.
tone design, what you're seeing, is
Right.
being done by the dollars. They bite off the fins of the.
Oh, okay. They're
Okay,
aggressive.
right. So as I said in my earlier episode, these fish don't belong to this tank. I had only 4 fish in this tank. These fish are from a friend's tank which cracked.
Right.
So they are here temporary till he gets his tank repaired.
Yeah.
So once his tank is repaired, these will go back to his tank, and I'll have only 4 of my fish. That's a pair of silver dollars and a pair of angels.
So
Okay, so they are peaceful. They get along with each other. There are many types of fish. These guys are compatible with each other. The tinfoil barbs and kois are compatible with each other. They've grown together in the other tank.
but
Okay, they were
they're
very
able
small.
to adjust.
Yes, they are able to adjust. Okay, but if I put something called an Oscar fish in this, that fish is a very, very aggressive fish.
Okay.
It can stay only with its kind of fish.
Okay.
Okay, so what it will do is it will try to swallow whatever fits in its mouth.
Oh, so it's a community like. So in that particular community.
Yes, that
then it's
particular
able
fish,
to-
anything that fits in its mouth, it will swallow it.
Okay.
Okay, then there are various varieties of catfish.
Right.
Then there is an arwana fish. So arwana is a fish wherein usually it is kept single, solo. It likes to live solo. Only there is a variety of arwana, which is a silver arwana, which can stay with its kind of fish, and which can stay with some large
Wow.
fish which don't fit in its mouth.
Okay.
Okay, so if anything fits in their mouth, they will
They
swallow.
will swallow.
So they are basically carnivorous fish.
Right.
They eat smaller fish and survive, or they eat insect. They are insectivorous, carnivorous.
Right.
They eat anything that fits in their mouth.
So you said arwana, right? So
Yes.
arwana is a feng shui kind of fish.
It is
I heard
considered-
about it. Yes.
It's considered as a feng shui fish. It's also called as a dragon fish.
Okay.
Okay, so you get various kinds of arwanas like silver arwana, starting from the silver arwana up to You get premium arowanas, which the cost goes in thousands of dollars.
Oh,
Or
okay.
you can
Oh,
say
that costly, is it?
yes, it can go up to lakhs of rupees also.
So a normal cost of of a tank like this would be let's say about what 20,000, 18 to
Depends on the
20,000.
equipment. Like for example, you can see the filter there. That filter itself, you can get it for 500. You can get the same
Okay.
filter for 6,000 also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the difference. So whatever you put together,
Okay.
if you want to buy a filter worth 500, you can that filter will come for 500. If you want to buy something that's a German made and that works, for a lifetime, or probably unless and until you spoil it, it won't get spoiled. Then you have to invest in something really
Right.
good. Then there's something called as a canister filter. It's an external filter which I'm using for this tank. So filtration is one of the aspects that you need to consider when stocking a tank. Okay, so if you're going to have fish which grow, okay, when you bring the fish, they will always be small.
Right.
So eventually they will grow, and their size will matter. So when they start growing and they become larger fish,
Yeah.
then your filter needs to be able to take that kind of a bioload, to filter that kind of a bioload. So you need to plan in advance whether what kind of fish you will take. If you want to keep fish like angel, you don't need that kind of a robust or heavy duty filtration. Okay, the basic thumb rule for filtration is 5 to 6 times the capacity of the tank should be run through the filter in 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay, so the more the merrier, but lesser will cause you more maintenance.
Okay.
Okay, so if the water is not clean, then the maintenance falls on you.
Yes.
You'll have to keep changing the water. But if you put a heavy filter, which can filter at least 6 times the water in your tank in 1 hour, it should be able to run the entire quantity of water in your tank at least 6 times in 1 hour.
That's
So
quite.
if you have a 100-gallon tank, your filtration capacity should be 600 gallons at least per hour.
Okay.
So consider that when you are buying a filter. That is also part of stocking your tank. At the same time, you need to consider the surface area of the tank. So you may have a tank which is tall. Okay, it may be very tall. It may be 4 feet tall, but the top part, the surface area of the water, it may not be enough. It may be just 1 feet by the length and breadth of the tank could be 1 feet by 4 feet, but it could be a tall tank. Okay, so
The height would be.
yes, the height is more, but then the agitation on the surface needs to be enough for it to circulate the water and to come into contact with the surface where the air is.
Here.
So the
Okay.
oxygenation also is important.
Right. So which means you're saying this part of the tank.
Yes, this part, this
this
surface
surface part of the
wherein
tank.
the oxygen exchange actually happens
Right.
from the air into the water, the oxygenation part. So that has to be as much as possible.
Okay.
So the more you
So-
give surface area, the better your oxygenation of the tank or the
tank.
air circulation in the water would be.
Okay.
Okay, secondly, you need to have if you have a lot of fish in your tank, they're growing, you need to have a aerator in your tank, which is called an oxygen motor by the shopkeepers.
Okay.
It's actually not an oxygen motor. It doesn't give oxygen, but it circulates or aerates your tank so that the water continuously keeps on moving, and then it comes into contact with the surface area, and it draws oxygen from the surface.
Lovely.
Okay, so that's how the fish get the oxygen to breathe in the aquarium. So
Right.
that's an artificial way of giving a flow to your water.
Right.
Wherein in the rivers there's a natural flow,
Okay.
here you give an artificial flow. So that's how it is, right?
This information is actually for the audience who are watching and who have this hobby of having a fish tank with different types of fish into them gives a great you've given a great insight about this. I really appreciate the kind of information that you've given, Amit. We have a lot of questions to ask. Something that struck me was the fish tank may be cheaper, but the fish can be costly. So your fish tank actually becomes a very costly affair. It's not that that everybody would be able to afford. But yes, people who can afford the smaller ones with smaller fish is also possible. People who can afford larger fish tanks with larger fish. I mean, ranging up to a lakh of rupees. I think that's something which was news to me, which was a surprise to me. But yes, if that is the story, then this is something wonderful that can be kept in the house. Yeah, and I've also heard and I've also known that fish in the house is for the feng shui part also. People you keep the fish or for feng shui also for bringing good luck is what is also being thought of. So I think that was great amount of information. I have a lot of more questions to come in. There are a lot of questions coming up from people. So we will continue this discussion in the next episode. Yeah, Amit. So we will see you in the next episode again. Thank you, viewers, for watching this channel on the Avijit Talk Show with Amit Kadam on fish and aquariums. See you in the next episode very soon. Thank you.